This is episode 60 of 21 Questions. Thank you for coming to play. My name's Mike. I run trivia shows. Let's get started. Question 1. According to the saying, what should people in glass houses not throw? Is it A, stones and rocks, or B, naked dance parties? I guess that's a matter of opinion, but for me, it'll be A, stones or rocks. Question 2. How many kings does each player start off with in a game of chess? Just the one, and you need to protect it if you want to win. Question 3. What breed of dog includes the former name of Zimbabwe in its breed name? That'd be the Rhodesian Ridgeback, and shout out to my friend Ian, who once had one of those dogs that was named Prince Svengali. I'm not even kidding. Question 4. True or false? Mickey and Minnie Mouse were at one time voiced by a couple that were married in real life. Is that true? Is that false? It's actually true, and it's a great story. Wayne Allwine and Russie Taylor were their names. Now, Wayne took over as the official voice of Mickey Mouse in 1977. He was the third person to voice Mickey, and he was the longest-serving voice of Mickey in history. Meanwhile, Russie Taylor was hired in 1986 as the voice of Minnie Mouse. Now, you might know her work. She voiced Martin, Prince, Sherry and Terry on The Simpsons and a whole bunch of other characters. Anyway, Wayne and Russie met on the set of Totally Minnie in 1986, and the two became close friends and eventually got married in 1991. Both, sadly, are no longer with us. They were having a happy life. Then they had an argument with a neighbour who set a couple of mouse traps, and that was the end of that. Sometimes I just say things. Sorry. Question 5. Which religion is associated with the concept of karma? Karma as a concept has kind of seeped into the wider consciousness, but it was originally a Buddhist thing. Question 6. Maths but not hard maths. What is 0.25 as a lowest common denominator fraction? That'd be 1/4. Did that freak you out? Are you alright? Some people just hate the maths questions. Question 7. Which country has Dili, D-I-L-I, which country has Dili as its capital city and has been known as Timor-Leste since gaining full independence in 2002? Here's a hint. Prior to 2002, it had a compass point in its name. Timor-Leste used to be known as East Timor. After question 7, we do the first clues for the Who Am I for the ep. Who am I? I am an American actor, singer and dancer. I starred in 2 of the biggest movies of the 70s and 2 of the biggest box office flops of the 80s. It was said of me for a time that if I danced in a movie, it would be successful, and if I didn't, it wouldn't be. Any thoughts on who that is yet? More clues coming up after question 14 if you need them. Question 8. Which military convention, which deals with the international legal standards for humanitarian treatment in war, is named after a city in Switzerland? That's the Geneva Convention. Question 9. We're at the movies. Which 1991 movie starring Kevin Costner was subtitled Prince of Thieves? That's Robin Hood, and that movie featured the Bryan Adams song Everything I Do For You, or I Do It For You, as the love theme. Question 10, while we're talking music. What was the composer Mozart's first 2 names? He was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Question 11 is another true or false. True or false? The only 2 balls in snooker that are worth less points than the green ball are the red and the yellow. It's also true. The red balls are worth 1 each and the yellow are worth 2. The green ball is worth 3. Question 12. Pride, sloth, lust, envy, greed, wrath and gluttony are collectively known as what? That'd be the 7 deadly sins. I think at some point I've had a crack at all of those. Question 13. What word starting with M and common in computers and mobile phones is also known as an integrated circuit? That's your microchip. Question 14. Pat Morita and Jackie Chan have both played which kung fu master on the big screen? That would be Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid. 4 clues now for the Who Am I. Think the American actor, singer, dancer, 2 of the biggest movies of all time in the 70s, 2 of the biggest flops of all time in the 80s. Here's some more clues for you. Who am I? Among my many and varied roles, I've played a woman and voiced a dog. I'm also a pilot. I piloted the plane that carried Oprah Winfrey and her guests to Australia in 2001. I'm a Scientologist and have been since 1975. I think you'll know who that is, but more clues coming up after question 20 if you're still not sure. Question 15. On which continent is Libya? Libya is in Africa. Question 16. What's the full title of the 2009 film Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince? Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. At one point, I thought to myself, I'm going to be a good parent. I'm going to read all the Harry Potter books. I'm going to watch all the movies because my son was reading them and I wanted to know what he was being influenced by. And I think I read the first one, saw the first movie and went, I'm going to tap out. He'll be fine. Question 17. How often is Halley's Comet? Now, a lot of people say Halley's Comet, but it's spelled with 2 L's. How often is Halley? I'm going to say Halley. How often is Halley's Comet visible from Earth? Here's multiple choice for you. Is it every 35 years, every 75 years, or every 125 years? Halley's Comet every 75 years, next due in 2061. Good-o. Question 18. Which animal, starting with A, is a mammal with an armour of bony plates on its back, head, upper limbs and tail? That's your armadillo right there. Question 19 on this podcast is always a still alive or not so much, where I give you a name and you decide if you think that person is still alive or not so much. Today, Roald Dahl, who wrote James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Matilda among other things. Is Roald Dahl still alive or not so much? Not so much. He passed away ages ago, back in 1990. He was 74 at the time. Question 20 is always a music question on this podcast. Today, which song by Pink Floyd opens with the lyrics, So you think you can tell, heaven from hell, blue skies from pain? Bit of classic Pink Floyd there. That's Wish You Were Here. Awesome. Final clues now for the Who Am I? Who am I? I got my first big break on the TV show Welcome Back, Kotter, where I played Vinnie Barbarino. I starred in Saturday Night Fever and Grease in the 70s and Pulp Fiction in the 90s. I starred in the Look Who's Talking franchise, and all up, my movies have made over $2.5 billion at the box office. That's because I am John Travolta. How early were you onto that one? Was it at the end of the first set of clues or the second? Anyone need all 3? You can tell me. We're all friends here. mike@triviatribe.com.au. Shoot me an email. Let me know how you went with that one. Okay, time now for the player questions. That's where you, the listener, can submit a trivia question that I will ask the group and find out what they know. Along the way, we will judge you as a person for the question you have submitted. Not really. A little bit, maybe. Anyway, last episode, Beverly sent in a cool question. She sent in, which ancient civilization invented the first vending machine? That blew my tiny mind, because that implies that there was one. I had no idea. I've Googled it, and it turns out the first known vending machine was invented by Hero of Alexandria. He was a Greek engineer in 1st century Rome and Egypt, and it was designed to dispense holy water in temples. So there you go, religion, putting their hand in your pocket. Did I say that out loud or just think it? I'm pretty sure I just thought it. That's okay, we'll move on. Anyway, it was designed to dispense holy water in temples. It operated by a coin falling onto a lever, which in turn opened a valve to release water until the coin slid off, allowing for precise, automatic distribution. Good work, Hero of Alexandria, and good work, Bev. This episode, Glenn, who is, I'm going to say, a friend of the podcast and possibly the first friend of the podcast, in that Glenn has been with me since episode 1. Glenn asks, what is a court jester's outfit called? I don't know. Is it the costume with the floppy hat? I don't know. I used to play a court jester at Dreamworld on the Gold Coast back in the day, like in the 90s, and I never came across this particular question or the answer. Nice one, Glenn. We'll do the answer to that next ep. If you would like to submit a trivia question for this show like Bev did and like Glenn did, I would love you to do that. Send me an email, mike@triviatribe.com.au, or you can message me via the Facebook page. The Facebook page is 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe, easily recognised, same logo as this podcast. Shoot me a message, and at some point it will turn up in this section of the show. Won't that be fun? Thanks very much for listening. This podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Let's get together in a couple of days to do it all again. My name's Mike van Acker. I love you. Catch you next time.